What's going on, everybody? Football is not too far away. If you're anything like me, you want to bet a few of your hard-earned doll hairs on it, okay? But I don't know about you. If you've been paying any attention to social media, advertisements, what have you, there's all these prediction markets out there now. There's Kalshi, there's Polymarket, and I see more and more people going towards that. I've seen the numbers that they're actually pulling in these prediction markets. And to be quite frank with you, I don't know what the difference between a prediction market and a sports book is, but I'm interested in it if we're actually able to get, better odds, better payouts, all things that, again, help us get a little bit more money as we're trying to have fun here on NFL Sunday. So brought in my guy, Billy Collins, to help answer those questions because, again, Billy, it's one of these things, man, where it feels like in the last year or so, I mean, nobody knew what Kalshi or Polymarket was, and now, like, they're in your face everywhere.
It's really exploded, Ian, and appreciate you having me on and happy to kind of dive into, looking like when I was watching the World Cup, how many times did you see a Kalshi or a Polymarket advertisement in between the hydration break or just on the boards, on the signage all around the stadium? It's really becoming at the forefront. And, obviously, like with Kalshi, their whole mantra is like you can trade on anything, and you literally can. And so there's going to be some interesting use cases. And, the tool that we're going to dive into today is the OddsJam Traders tool. And there's just some real interesting use cases for this tool because, normally, your average sports bettor like me or you think just to go to FanDuel or DraftKings. But, for some people that have very high bankrolls where they're looking to wager tens of thousands of dollars, not all the time is maybe your FanDuel or DraftKings going to be maybe optimal for you to be able to get that kind of money down. And so that's where prediction markets just opens up a whole new world where you're able just to trade on anything peer-to-peer. And so it's very advantageous. And this tool is just going to really be I'm really excited to dive into this tool. So I'm just going to pause there. But that's what we're going to talk about today is how you can utilize this tool and make some money off of it. And, if you ever heard, Ian, when it comes like to sports betting, like, that the Touts services.
Yeah.
And so like normally Touts get a bad rap, right? Because we don't, a couple things like with Touts is they're people that sell their picks. And normally you never see, what they're wagering on. They give you a pick, but you never see them place the bet, or you don't really know.
They tell you how good they've been, and hopefully they're telling you the truth.
Listen, it's the Mortal Max mega nuke of the day. Put the mortgage on it, like you can't lose. Well, here the difference is this is kind of like a tout service, but the difference is that OddsJam is able to actually locate and find profitable traders, individuals that are on Polymarket, Kalshi, Novig, ProphetX, that are actually trading that have a positive ROI. So the cool thing with this tool is we can peel back the curtain with individuals and see how many trades they're getting down, what they're trading on, what's their ROI. Unlike a tout service where you're really just taking it at face value from that individual. You don't really know.
And Billy, that's kind of one of the things I feel like excites me about this. While prediction markets, they're new, so we don't quite, again, at least me, like I don't feel like I have a great handle on it. The more I learn about it, though, everything with them seems to be public. So it's actually more information getting it from the prediction markets than we would with the sports book. And from what I can understand, again, that whole peer-to-peer kind of caveat you threw in there, that's good for us because we're not even betting necessarily against a sports book. We're betting against other individuals now. So seemingly, at least I would think, we're not facing the same sort of risk of getting limited.
Exactly. So the relationship is completely different. With a traditional recreational sports book like a FanDuel or a DraftKings, it's an adversarial relationship. They make it seem like it's awesome on a commercial. Hey, we're going to make a bunch of money here. But if you lose your bet, then that means DraftKings made money off you. And if you win your bet, then DraftKings loses money. But here with prediction markets, it's more kind of like a casino relationship where they want you to trade as much as you can because they're just going to take a little rake or fee off the top of the winning bettor. So if you win your bet, you're going to have to pay just a small percentage back to them. So it's a very advantageous relationship with us, with Kalshi and Polymarket. The more you trade, the more money that they make. They're happy that you're using the platform, and you're happy because you're never going to be capped at all on anything. If they offer a market, you can wager trillions of dollars if you wanted to. And so obviously they offer a crazy menu. What we're going to be focused on today is going to be just sports related. And then we're going to see some non-sports things for those of you that maybe like to get into politics or maybe entertainment. But happy to kind of dive into this tool because there's a lot that's happening on the screen here. And I know we've been looking at this esports play for a while, but what we're kind of looking at here if you'll indulge, is basically just this green score here. This is just a confidence score based off of OddsJam. And so they have all of these plays here rated in terms of, obviously, the higher the confidence score, the more that we have confidence in it.
Is
And then
that
we're just
0 to 100? 100 is the best.
0 to 100, but we're basically with
Zero.
OddsJam, they kind of keep it at like 70s is a 0,
Okay.
and then all the way up to 100. So really 70 is going to be the lowest score that you'll see. And then, this kind of explains it here is, what we're actually trading on. This is esports. We're down here in Major League Baseball, the event. Then what's going on, the two teams that are happening in this event, and then the actual market that we're trading on. So a lot of money lines. So what you're going to see a lot with the traders tool, these are a lot of main line markets. So you're not going to see a lot of player props. In a previous video that Ian and I went through, you're going to see some player props on like OddsJam Sharp Money Tool. What's going to be flooded on this page is money line plays. And what you're going to then see is with the side that we're looking to trade on. And this blue little symbol here, this is Polymarket. And like you mentioned, we can track Polymarket. We can, they have a public API where you can see exactly who's trading on what and what they're trading on, like a blockchain.
And
what
how
you're going to
much
see
they're
here,
making.
yeah, exactly. And how
That's
much
the
they're
key.
making. So events here at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and this trader put down almost $15,000 on esports on Moneyline, right? And so that's pretty crazy within itself. And then all of this up here at the top is kind of then regurgitated over here on the right-hand side.
Okay.
And so what you're going to notice is, this is the bet size. OddsJam also has these nice little captions here that kind of explain in the description. The relative bet size. This is 7 times more than what they normally, the trader would trade on. So obviously they have a lot of confidence in this play. And what's most
what do
important
you
with this
consider
tool
like a
is-
high confidence number for that, Billy? Sorry to cut you off,
Sure,
but like
no,
is
that's
3
no problem.
times
So-
still something? Is 3 times something where like that's good enough for you, or are you looking for maybe 5x or more?
So a relative bet size is definitely going to be like 1. So think of it for my unit bettors out there, like 1 unit. That's like your standard bet. 1 to 3 units or 1 to 3x relative bet size. Obviously, this trader has some confidence on it. In my opinion, once we get past like to 5x or beyond, then there's just an insane amount of confidence here with this trader.
Cool.
And there's a few things that I really like about this. Is number one, this trader has a low amount of trades. And when we're going to go through maybe some other examples, we're going to see maybe that this trade number might get into the 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 range. And for those viewers that are watching this, anything that you see that's 5,000 trades or beyond, there's a very high chance that the individual is using a bot. So when we see 360 trades, this means that this person's really just sitting down in front of the screen, whether it's their phone or their laptop. They're spending time actually placing this. Obviously, we could see their top categories, esports.
The problem, if it is a bot, is that that's going to really limit our potential to actually make those trades in a meaningful way. Because I know that other number spillage over there, to me, the way I interpret it is like, I hear that under 50 in the Cowboys, Commanders game is the play here. But by the time I get to my sportsbook or whatever, it's all already down to 48 or, 48 and a half or something like that. Slippage helps kind of tell us, is this still a good value or not?
Exactly. Because if that 50 and a half is not minus 110 anymore, it's minus 140. And that makes a big difference because, the average person might say, well, who cares? Well, that we're getting less money put in our pocket when that under hits. Yeah. So when maybe Aubrey misses that game-winning field goal. But
hey,
so for here, the slippage is really important because obviously, it's just like your stoplight. Green's good, yellow's meh, and then red we really just don't want to mess around with. So we are still price sensitive to a degree, but I want people to think about, we have a bit more of a range, some wiggle room to work with when it comes to slippage. And so this little graph down here is going to tell us that the trader entered this and got this play at 84.2 cents. And you're like, whoa, hold on, buddy. What are we talking about? 84.2 cents. So OddsJam has down here on the right-hand side this calculator section, and we have a prediction markets calculator. I have it pulled up over here. So when we type in like 84.2, whether you use fraction, decimal, or American odds, this is going to break it down for you in like layman's terms of like, oh, okay, well, that's minus 533 American odds. And so, when we go back to this play, betting on a minus 533, that's a heavy favorite. That means we have an 84% chance of winning this bet. But, these are plays that this person has a lot of confidence in. They're bringing back almost an 11% ROI on esports. And we're being recommended to bet esports, which is their top category. So for me, we're going to dive into this like, okay, the play's good, but like how much money should we wager on this? And so we get into that portion of it. we talk about units. I like to think of this as a unit sizing. And so, okay, well, then you're going to bet if you see that this person has a high ROI of 5% or higher, they're putting down a massive bet size. I would be willing to put like a 2-unit play on this. You still want to think about your bankroll here. We're not putting the mortgage on one
Right.
play because then that's gambling, right? It's not really edge betting. So
Well, and
that's
again,
where we,
also just to be clear, again, OddsJam has already done the work here to figure out who
yes,
is good. So like we're not looking at these individual bets going, well, is this guy betting it? Like, does he know what they're talking about? We've established he knows what they're talking about. Now we're just trying to do that
exactly.
extra little layer of research to make sure that relative to the good traders trades, is this one of his top ones that he feels, the strongest about?
100%. And like we touched on earlier with a tout service, this is like a service though you can actually see, oh, well, this guy does really well on NBA totals, but he's bringing back a 5% ROI on MLB money lines. We're being told to bet the Braves right now. So yes, OddsJam's done all the work here. You don't have to try to figure out, is this legit? Is it good? Or do they win? No, because it's all publicly out there. So the way that I would say, if you're looking at this Braves play and you're like, man, let's bet the Braves on the money line. Again, we're just going to come over to this calculator, type in 70 cents. So you figure out it's at minus 233 odds. This trader entered this trade at 69 cents. You can see that the slippage is a positive number. So when it's a positive number, that means that we might not be able to get the same price that the trader got it at, but we're going to be pretty close. If you see a negative number here in slippage, that's actually really good for us. That means that the price that the trader got it at, the market moved against them, because even though these traders are profitable, not every decision that they make, the market agrees with. So if it's a negative number here, we can get a better price. So the next thing I do is I just come over to the MLB games, and this game's starting up pretty soon. And so we're like, okay, well, we would like to get this at minus 233. Obviously there's maybe a book or two that we can get relatively a close price. I don't want to go to DraftKings and get this at minus 272, but we can get this at one book. Also, on Kalshi Polymarket, you do not have to accept, excuse me, the price that's available here. You can create a price. Maybe you get your order filled. So this is where I just start to peruse a little bit, and I say, okay, well, maybe, if I had access to this, I would go here. But this is where we just start to do a little price shopping, because we're still worried about the price, making sure we can get it relative to what the trader got it at.
And also, Billy, I think the important thing you mentioned before, putting our whole bankroll on one bet, that is gambling, okay? This is a situation where, yeah, we're trying to do our due diligence for each individual bet, but we're going to want to build up a pretty big volume here if we can.
Exactly. Ideally, we want to take almost every trade on this play, or every trade on the screen here, and the more plays that we can capture that are from profitable traders, that's more advantageous for us. We want to diversify our portfolio. You don't want to put everything in Apple. Sometimes that's a good idea. Sometimes it's not. So, and here, this is where, when we get in the filter section, you could, you want to look for plays for today or the next 7 days. Maybe you just want to talk about football, what's going to be coming up soon. You can pick and choose whatever you want to go after. We also are going to get some, not some political things. If you guys are into that, geopolitics. If you're not into that, that's fine. Tennis, whatever the case may be, we can go after this. So there's a lot of different things that this tool is going after. But the main thing is OddsJam's identified profitable traders. They're going to show you plays right now and be willing to have a little bit of forgiveness in terms of the price. A couple cents here, a couple cents there in terms of a price. And this is a great tool because you can log in, see the plays, copy and paste them. Takes you 5, maybe 10 minutes tops. You're not sitting in front of the screen all day long waiting for something to pop up. So it really gives a nice, healthy work-life balance, or sports betting life balance, where you're able to know that you're getting plays that have an edge, and then you're able to go about your day.
Because that's my thing. I don't, I want to make money, sure, but I don't want to devote 4 hours a night just to constantly scanning this, just trying to get it all in one. Makes sense to me, man. So again, big takeaways for me here. Tout services on the surface, if we knew they were making money and doing a great job, are fine, but we don't know that. We do at prediction markets, and that's what we have established here. We basically curated the best prediction traders out there, and we've taken that extra step to go ahead and determine what are the best that they feel the strongest about. And we're literally just trying to tail that, Billy. We can bet on esports with confidence because we know who the really good esports traders are and what they feel good about.
Exactly. And you're going to be able to bet this or trade this at scale. So you're never going to have to worry about a tap on the shoulder from a sports book saying, hey, you can only, trade $50 or bet
Yeah.
$100 here. You're never going to have to worry about that. And the last thing I get to touch on here, this little projected number here, this is a great little tool here from OddsJam that shows you your average bet size, whatever that is for you and the viewer out there. How many bets, if you were to get down a day, this is just your range of outcomes.
Mhm.
And based off of two different medians that we offer, two different filter setups on OddsJam, you guys can tinker around with this with the tool. And this is just a simulator that runs your profit, your 30-day profit, based off of how much you're wagering. And obviously, the more that you're wagering, this is a very profitable tool. The more
Yeah.
trades that you can get down, the more that you're going to be able to make. So, right now, we're recording this in end of summer, training camp's on its way for NFL.
Yeah.
When we start getting into like November and December, when we got football and everything else going on, I mean, this tool is going to be littered with plays. And so the more plays that you get down that have an edge with and more volume that you have, the more that's going to work out for you profitability wise.
Absolutely love it, Billy. Again, guys, would love to have you sign up. We got a nice little 30% promo code you can see on the video, but I'd like for you to take our word for it. But also, there's a free trial here. You can go sign in and just at every single step, like you're going to log into OddsJam, do your free trial, and you're immediately going to have the opportunity to get one-on-one talks with some of our experts to kind of walk you through these on your own. So again, Billy, like just been very honest with you guys here. All right. I have not been a profitable gambler, but I want to be. And just the fact that these tools, which, yeah, I work for the company. Okay. But you can see it for yourself. You can talk to them yourself. You can try it out yourself for free. I freaking love it, man.
Yeah, it's gonna open up a whole new world for you. And there's so many other markets that, again, you don't have to know anything about esports or tennis to be able to make money. You just have to follow people that are in sync with the market and those sports. And that's what this tool tells you to do. And then you're just riding their coattails, making money.
Letting someone else do all that hard work and then just taking the play. And it's all legal. It's all limit free. Absolutely love it, Billy. So any other things you want to highlight with this tool, man?
No, just really looking forward to football season, seeing this tool pop up a lot more. But guys, obviously, any questions, don't be afraid to drop a comment below and ask because I know there's a lot here with this tool, but it's pretty simple. Follow the plays, tail the plays. Make sure that you're sticking to a somewhat of a unit size so that you're not going off the rails on one specific play. No matter how much you love a specific play on the screen, stick to that unit sizing, and you're just going to slowly start to see the profits go up.
And hey, guys, I know a lot of my channel is going to be more just fantasy football content. But as we get into the season, Billy and I are going to be breaking down games, going through injuries. And I just want to give you guys some winners as we are honestly just going through our weekly schedule as we have more football games populating or a random basketball game, because who doesn't want to make a little bit of cash here or there? So again, very much invite you guys to check out all this for yourself. I'm not going to be spending 60-minute shows just going through line by line every single bet, but certainly we'll be giving away some freebies. And again, just looking forward to, God forbid, man, I don't win every single fantasy league I enter this year. I'm looking forward to at least making some extra cash on the side, thanks to our friends over at OddsJam. But that's a wrap up this edition of, again, highlighting some of OddsJam's very, very cool tools. Again, 30% off if you want to use that code right here on the screen. Also, make sure you check out that free trial because it's free. It's a trial. Why not go ahead for that? So for Billy Football, I'm Ian. Thanks again for tuning in. And until next time, take care, everybody.